How's it going? Gone here. 64. It's the 64th time I sit down and talk about something, and yup, I counted. What a monumental achievement, even if it kinda ruined me. But what could I possibly talk about? Something that rhymes with 64. How about the 1000-year Blood War? Let's talk about PlayStation Network instead. Now open your wings. You can do it. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up to the top of the world. Sony f***ed multiple times. Only this year in 2024, they wasted $400 million on Concord and shut the servers down in a span of 2 weeks. And now they're asking $700 for a console that doesn't even play games? Where's the disc tray, Sony? Sony certainly doesn't know what they're doing sometimes, and this whole Concord situation made me look back at the PSN hack of 2011, possibly the biggest gaming outage of all time. The PS3 is cool, right? It is by far the most underrated Sony console, with incredible titles and an unforgettable legacy. But who would have thought that that would be the case? Yeah, before release, Sony was actively killing themselves in front of us. Every new reveal was like they were backstabbing the consumers and everyone else. It was dumb. But one of the reveals that stood out was the PlayStation Network. Whoa, an actual online service, 4 years after Xbox Live! This service would be free and include connectivity with the PSP, online multiplayer games, the PlayStation Store, PlayStation Home, and other features. Sony's intent was to create a world where every player is connected all the time. A PlayStation world, I should say. When the PS3 released, PSN was kinda shitty, and compared to Xbox Live on the 360, Sony was on a tough spot.
Fucking I own you, little bitch.
And that was the PS3 for the first couple of years, a mediocre online with okay games. But 2009, oh 2009, the year where we got Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, and most importantly, the PS3 Slim and the new and revised PlayStation Network. And only 1 year later, we got a premium subscription service known as PlayStation Plus, giving you access to free games, store discounts, exclusive stuff, and much more. Sony finally made a somewhat decent online service. I'm impressed. But who wouldn't? They made Little Big Planet. But when you make something, there will be people that won't like it, and some fellas at Anonymous were those people. Kinda. Let me explain. It all started with an individual called Graf Shakolo from the hacker group Fail Overflow, a man that just wanted Linux on his PS3. Yeah, he and the famous hacker, GeoHot, were the first people to successfully crack the PS3's code, even made a homebrew for the console and made it available on the internet. Normal stuff, people hack things all the time and gaming consoles are no different. But Sony caught wind of these hacks and sent a cease and desist to the hacking group and issued them to take the hacks down. And enter Anonymous. They were not happy at Sony for taking legal action at the hackers, so they made a statement basically declaring war at Sony. And from April 4th to the 7th of 2011, PlayStation Network went offline for the first time, in result of numerous attacks made by Anonymous, so it was virtually impossible to do anything online. Yep, poor Junior couldn't play Call of Duty Black Ops during those days. After the 7th, Anonymous announced that they were no longer attacking PSN and that they were sorry for attacking customers when their intent was to attack the company. April 20th, 2011. The PSN goes offline again, but this time it was serious. Apparently from the 17th to the 19th, someone was attacking the servers and possibly stealing data from the users, and that forced Sony to shut down the PSN for the time being. Sony conducted an investigation to inverse the occurrence, but it was too late, the deed was already done. PSN was no more for the moment. And everyone was not happy, and that's expected. Who wouldn't? Like, come on, I want to play Uncharted 2 online in peace! You know it's over when it's on the f***ing news. The news are finally worth watching. The outage was still ongoing, and that possibility of stealing personal data became a reality. No one was safe. Except people that didn't own a PS3, which was a lot actually. Sony later made an apology in the next month, and announced that every PSN user would receive the welcome backpack by signing back on. This pack included 1 month of PS Plus and a selection of games. PlayStation Network was down for a total of 24 days. The servers only returned on May 14th, 2011, making this the biggest outage in gaming history. We don't know exactly who attacked the servers. Some suspected it was Anonymous, but they disproved that theory, and that mystery still remains. This attack was terrible for PS3 users, but no one was in a worse position than Sony. This outage cost over $170 million, plus a £250,000 fine, plus a bunch of lawsuits from third-party developers. See, PSN was down for almost a month and many online games weren't playable during that period, and that prevented companies from said games receiving revenue. Later in E3 2011, Sony made a public apology to the third-party devs and the consumers. Sony f***ed. This whole fiasco wasn't entirely their fault, they weren't the ones stealing data for f***'s sake, but at the same time, they were definitely the ones to blame. Multi-billion-dollar company, they don't offer a decent protection to the consumers? That's just bad. Like, holy shit, how do you f*** that up? In the end, this cost us an arm in the leg for Sony, and we got a month of PS Plus and a handful of games. That's honestly the best they've given in the last 10 years. This was just something that popped into my head recently. I'm so glad I can talk about this stuff in secret. Well, except you. It's just between you and me, Nostalgia Critics the Wall. What a wonderful yap sesh.